to be here on Neora with you tonight to discuss one of my very favorite topics that I am very much passionate about. So, I'm going to talk to you guys about your vision. The dictionary defines vision as an act or power of anticipating that which will or may come to be. Vision gives us direction and a glimpse over our life to make goals and purpose a reality. Vision is so very important in achieving what you see as success, whatever that might be. It's the guiding force behind your daily actions. Vision is the aspiration, while goal setting is the actionable piece. But it also tends to be the last natural step to do for a multitude of reasons. So when you think of writing a vision, what stories pop up in your mind when you think of it? When you think of crafting that for your life? Nothing? Is it so overwhelming that it paralyzes you? Like, what holds you back from doing it? Why is it not a habit in your life? Do you think you're not able, not capable of doing the things that you put in there? Do you feel like it's selfish? Some people feel like it's almost sacrilegious to want more. Do you fear that it makes you less grateful if you're wanting more or wanting something different? Don't think you deserve it or are worthy of it? Or were you solely raised with a negative money association like me, so you're not sure how to feel about wanting more? Good news, we don't have to figure any of that out today. Being here today is your start. Where I'm going to help you move out of that conscious thinking to access the things that you really want. And we can continue to work on your mindset through your 10 minutes of personal development every day until you finally get in line with believing that you're worthy, able, all the things. And I get it. The person I am today is not who I was when I started Neora. To me, I take this very, very seriously, the act of writing a vision, because I know the power of it. I didn't have that. I didn't grow up that way. I didn't do those things. And I didn't love myself. I wasn't emotionally mature when I got here. I didn't have confidence. I was very reactive. My brain was conditioned to be negative in every way, shape, and form. I searched for the bad. I searched for what wasn't there or what was lacking. I lived in fear and was paralyzed by the what ifs and worst case scenarios of life. The things that I actually thought could be possible for life were detrimental. And knowing what I know now, it's disturbing to me how much I was thinking horrible things and attracting the pathways for those to happen right into my life. I would argue back then that your past was proof for what you weren't going to have or what wasn't possible for your life. And I really didn't know or realize that holding on to your past failures, your past disappointments, your past family history, the past patterns, whatever it might be, when you're holding on to the past, you literally leave no space to create anything for your future. I didn't realize what you focused on grows. That's not cliche, you guys. It is literally physics in motion. So I fully understand not being able to dream big, think big, see past what your fears are. I fully understand what it's like to try to create something big for your future when you're so immersed in the worries that it's not going to work out. The only visions I used to allow for myself in my mind were the ones that supported my fears. And it used to function that way, obviously. Like the way that I function now, it used to be the complete opposite. So as I see big pictures and possibility and faith and hope and belief and all the things, that is not who I was when I came here. And I tell you that because fast forward to now, I understand how powerful it is to go all in on what's possible instead of what you're afraid of will happen. As Shawn trained at conference, neither one of them are true yet, right? You are deciding either it's not going to happen or it is. You get to decide which one you're going to align yourself with to either make your brain start to make it come true, whichever one you choose. So I now understand that power in going all in on what's possible. The same way I used to go all in on my fears, right? I now live in the big picture. I do not know how to operate without a vision now, truly. My vision is what connects me to faith and hope and strengthens those things enough to be able to carry me through any perceived negative situation, be it personal, business, whatever it is. And I'm beyond passionate about this topic because I am proof of what happens when you truly surrender to a way of being that you've never known before. Or maybe you have, but in the sheer faith and that the knowing itself will allow all of that to flow to you. And when you shift to focusing on what you desire to feel and experience rather than all the things you're afraid of, it is a very powerful thing. And you're not going to it's not magical. You're not going to necessarily feel it in the moment while it's happening. It's not going to be that suddenly you do this vision activity today and, next week, all of your wildest dreams come true. That's not how it works. But there are times that creating a vision for a better outcome or a reality has been the only thing that saved me from the burdens that were more than I could bear. So, example, when things were at their worst in my life, the vision for what I wanted to happen, sitting down and creating that, having that knowing is what helped me cling to faith and hope. Having the knowing that something better can and will happen. And then being centered in that instead of all of the things I was afraid of would happen. And if you're skeptical, I get it. I didn't think I even needed personal development when I came here, which is truly hysterical because I was the number one candidate for personal development and changing the way I thought and understanding the power in what you think and what you see and what you put out into the world to see as possible for yourself. I only wrote my first vision because it was an assignment and I'm a rule follower. Truly, I didn't do it thinking that I believed in it. Not even a little bit. I couldn't even dream big. I couldn't really see past like the oh, I want to move my family out of the neighborhood we live in and I want my husband home more and I want to see my kids more. Like that was as big of a concept as I could muster. But when I saw it, I knew what it felt like. I know what I smelled, what I saw, what that meant. That alone was the power. But I will never, ever, ever forget the moment when I realized that everything I've written about had come true. It still freaks me out to this day, if I'm being honest. And when I had that realization is when I knew the power, the true power. It was undeniable power, and I knew the undeniable power in writing a vision. That's also when I became very passionate about sharing the power to help people truly realize what is possible for life. We don't have to stay in these self-imposed boxes because we put them there. We may have been indoctrinated in some way to think that we belonged there, but we did that. We allowed that to become the way we believed. Our thoughts and beliefs created boundaries and lids that keep us stuck or unhappy or unable to find peace, joy, whatever it might be. This is how I know your vision carries you forward because it did me. Your vision has you create actions or do things that are in alignment with what you envisioned. That's how it works. And for my skeptics, I know it might sound mystical or very like subjective, like, oh, this is your opinion or your experience, and now you're going to try to put your woo-woo-ness on all of us. But it really is rooted in neuroscience. This personally, knowing this, I mean, I have a master's degree in science, so this helped me accept that this was something more than just woo-woo weirdness, right? Using imagery primes your brain to grasp opportunities that may otherwise go unnoticed. So your brain has a process called value tagging, which basically imprints important things into your subconscious and then filters out any unnecessary information. So I want to know if you've understood this example. Here's an example for you. We've all lived this. So once you hear this, you're going to be like, aha. You go to a car lot. You see a model of a car that you've never seen before. You leave said car lot, and lo and behold, on your way home, you see 4,762 of those car models. Not really exaggeratory, but you know what I'm saying. Have you ever had that happen where you literally start seeing things simply because you saw things to begin with? That is bringing things to your subconscious. That is bringing literal things you are implanting into your subconscious mind. And that is essentially value tagging. It is bringing something into your mind so your mind will seek to find it. It will help to seek it be true. So the act of writing the vision alone creates opportunities and cues for your mind to pick up on what moves you more towards what you're going to do than it would have without the vision. Your brain literally assigns a higher value to that which you're showing it in images. It really assigns a higher value to images more than just words. So the more detailed you can be in describing the things or finding associated images to represent them for you to frequently look at, the more its importance moves up in your brain in priority level. So remember that most of your thoughts, like 92% or 93, something crazy percent of your thoughts, are literally the same exact thoughts you had the day before. They're just flowing in the background like a record playing. You're not even operating in conscious mind very often. So a vision and imagery delivers from your from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind what you want to get back in life form. So today you're going to use words, and the exercise that we're going to go through together, you're going to use words to help you create that vision. But task 2 is going to be using that to create something for your mind to visually look at, or describe it in such detail that you can see it. You know, every physical attribute of what you're seeing, as well as what you're hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, all the things, the most detailed imagery you could ever have. I want that for something for your mind to look at. I've used Pic Collage before and then saved it as a screensaver of my phone. I've used a PowerPoint slide. That's my original one. Still sits by my back door just a reminder. I don't ever forget where I came from, right? But you can be even more intentional, and you can read your vision and look at it, the imagery, before you go to sleep. I highly challenge you to do that. I highly challenge you to at least read that vision or look at those images before you go to sleep, because your brain is super impressionable as it drifts off to sleep. Really, it's because it goes into different brain waves, but we're not going to get into all that. But if you focus your attention during that period of time, especially if it's something you've not been focusing on before, then your brain, they're more likely to be featured in your brain and thoughts. So you're literally programming your mind at night to support your vision. Your brain sees very, very little difference between what you show it or tell it and what is real. Don't believe me? Or in base, I'll give you an example. Have you ever done VR, virtual reality? Put on those VR goggles and you try to walk the edge of the building without falling off, and you know it's not real. Every ounce of your conscious mind knows that what you are looking at is not real, and there's nothing to be scared of, because you are not, in fact, going to fall off of a ledge and plummet to your death like it appears in the virtual reality scene, right? But it is so very hard for it not to feel so real, for you to not have an overwhelming fear that you're going to fall off the ledge, right? That is what I'm trying to explain. That is, in essence, your brain seeing very little difference beside what you tell it or show it and what is real. It is truly the best representation of that I can explain to you. So basically, you're going to virtual reality your bigger dreams and focuses to your subconscious mind so it believes it to be true. And your conscious mind doesn't even have to believe it. It doesn't have to believe that it's going to happen yet. That isn't the point. The act of writing the vision alone is literally programming the virtual reality through your visualization and imagery. You are showing it the virtual reality of your future so that it believes it to be real and true and will seek to constantly prove you right. Your brain wants to prove itself right. So whatever you're throwing into it, imagery, visualization, and thoughts, truly, but it will seek to prove them to be true. So not only are you going to imagine that things are happening, but you're going to imagine them as if they have already happened. So that would be like, you're not going to envision like, I'm going to write a book, right? You are envisioning yourself as a best-selling published author. Two very different things. You want to program the clearest virtual reality in that brain of yours. Give your subconscious mind the clearest image to work to prove right, which means that you'll then be more likely to recognize opportunities or take leaps that would make those things happen for you. Studies have shown that even people who envision themselves flexing a muscle, I'm just going to start doing that all the time, for example, will achieve more actual physical strength gains. Virtual reality. So don't just take my word for it that it worked for me and it's proof, and I do it all the time, not just for business, not just for life, but in any situation that I do not love, that's making me not feel good feelings, or that's not in alignment with the way I want life to go. I will create a vision about that. what I want it to be, the feelings that that's going to feel. I do that all the time. It's not just for my 5 year future vision or my business alone, right? Truly, there's actual science that proves it works. And the neuroscience says the more regularly that you use the vision, the more likely you are to take action toward your goals. So it's truly the compass that guides you. If your goals are rooted in a clear, detailed, concise vision for your life, most of the time it's going to be difficult for you to stay, if they're not rooted in that, is what I meant to say, then it's going to be difficult for you to stay consistent in showing up or doing any of the actual things that are required to make the dream happen. You cannot just write a vision and it comes true, right? We know there has to be action, effort, work, all of that. That's real for everything. But the point is, you will be more in line with that, create more of those opportunities for you. One last reason having a vision and visiting the imagery often is important in helping you achieve success is that you literally are conditioning your body to be ready and not have fear. So your body has a stress response to anything new, typically. It literally releases stress hormones. But if you are repeatedly looking at images in relation to your goals, then those things will lose the newness. So that fear or stress response will be reduced from your body, literally reduces your physiological fear response, making you more likely to take healthy risks or collaborate and embrace the opportunities that you might not have otherwise because you have conditioned yourself to not have the physiological fear response. So, no matter where you fall on the spectrum and how you see a vision, whether you do them all the time and you're a firm believer, you know it, you've proved it, or you're like, you sound Looney Tune right now, I don't really care. I want you to do this exercise anyway. The process alone of what we're going to do is going to create a positive emotional space and energize your brain. It's creating a virtual reality for your subconscious to work to prove right, regardless of your belief level in it when you're writing it. Regardless. If it's not easy to think super big, that's okay. It's not a one and done. You can do this often. I mean, I didn't stop at my first vision, right? Well, one I did. And then once I realized it came true, I was like, holy wow, I'm going to be really, really clear about what I'm writing in here, right? So the more you do it, the bigger you'll be able to go with it. And as you work on yourself and your thoughts, you will start to scare yourself with how big you can see. So you're doing this in alignment with growing the way that you think so that your thoughts are in alignment with what you want. That is a very big work in progress. That's why it's a consistent daily activity of yours to do 10 minutes a day, right? What I hope is that you'll at least take away some of the feelings that you would like to get from these things so that you can start attaching it to in a way that or start attaching it to your conscious mind in a way that even if you can't conceive it right now, that your conscious mind can. That means that your subconscious mind can, sorry. Based on the science, you don't have to believe in the vision yet for it to start working in your life. I'm repeating that for you to hear a third time. Your brain is going to start seeing and identifying those supportive actions that will take you to it. This exercise isn't supposed to involve the thinking side of your brain. We want you to go back to like your 5-year-old self. That's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like an astronaut. And everybody's like, yeah. Or, you're teeny tiny and you're like, I'm going to be in the NBA. And everyone's like, yeah. That's the one we want. Before you were conditioned to be in a box or place lids on yourself and what's possible and what you deserve and what you're worthy of. I'm going to take you through a visualization exercise tonight, right now, whatever time it is for you. I use this practice all the time, but it's very vulnerable for me to do it with you. It's not something that I normally do for other people. But my intention is for you to relax your mind enough from the chaos, whether it's true chaos that's literally happening around you, whether it's the noises that you hear, whether it's the stuff going on in your mind, whatever that is. I want you to be able to connect to something deep inside of you, deep desires, like soul level, deep into your heart That's when you find out the things that truly matter to you, whether it's a thought or a feeling, so that we can bring them to light in your mind, so that we can highlight them, put them in your mind movie, so that you can actually truly start working, putting them in what did I call it? What was the thing that I said? Oh my gosh. The value tagging, so that you can value tag these things as priority, so that your mind will work to find the things that will help them come true. I'm going to bombard your brains. So hopefully you don't have the chance for your conscious mind to truly try to take over. It's going to try. That's okay. Just go back. Just recenter. Okay. I'm so excited to be a part of this with you because I do know the power. I know the power in simply having the intention of sitting down and thinking about these things. Then I know the bigger power that's there when you write them down. And even bigger power behind it when you create imagery and visions that go along with it, all the details of how you see, think at the time, feel, smell, whatever. And then the even bigger power when you introduce that to your brain every single night and program your brain while you sleep. And the even bigger power when you start working on your thoughts and yourself so much that you believe that it can be true for you and that you do deserve it and that you are worthy of it. And an even bigger power when you tell someone else, right? So it's going to be baby steps, right? If the most you can do is open your mind and hear me tonight, cool, baby steps. I'd like you to have a pen and paper near you, not your phone and your thumb, a pen and a paper. Let it flow out. Whatever's coming into your mind, you just write it out. To me, it's almost like a spiritual experience. Well, it is a spiritual experience for me, but I don't want it to sound too weird. It all just like dumps into my mind and I write a million miles a minute. Don't even recognize my own handwriting when it's over. Like, it is a experience for me, but I've practiced it for 10 years. Okay. If this is night one, just give yourself some grace that however this experience is what it was supposed to be for you in this moment. And you can come back to this and do it as many times as you need to until you feel like you have gotten the best imagery, virtual reality for your life, for your business, for yourself, for your dreams, for your goals, for your ambitions, ever. Okay? I promise you, you're not going to remember it once the moment's pass, so have the pen and paper. It will flow in and it will flow out as quickly as it flew in, truly. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to add a little light background music that hopefully isn't too overpowering, but hopefully isn't also the silence of my voice. You can choose to listen with your eyes opened or closed. Either way is fine with me. Whatever you need to do to feel the most comfortable and relaxed. Try to stay as connected as you can, but don't get mad at yourself if you hear the dog bark and you think, why is the dog barking? And it irritates you, or your grocery list pops into your mind, or your to-do list. That's okay. That's normal. It's okay. Just reconnect back to your heartbeat or your breathing or something that can try to make you feel a little bit more present. And you want to stay as connected as you can, but you don't want to get so relaxed that you fall asleep. Okay, I've been there, done that. So we want your brain to be willing to receive, and then jot it down as it comes to you. Don't judge it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just write it down. Okay. So you want to start by taking a big, deep breath in and out. You're going to connect to your breathing. I'm not going to count your breaths with you because some of you will go slower than others. Hopefully this is a part of your Neora Fit mindful breathing practice every day and you're a master of it. Slow in, hold it for 3 seconds, slow out. Now relax your shoulders, let them fall by your side. Where's your tongue? If it's at the roof of your mouth, let it drop. Let your nervous system start to feel calm, but let your mind feel ready to wander to all the places deep, deep in your soul's purpose. As you continue to breathe, give yourself permission to dream. Also, allow yourself to live in the wonder of all that can exist for you. Happiness, love, joy, success, peace, prosperity. Feel that flowing into your body and accept in this very moment that God or your higher power has given you everything you need for this to become a reality. It's all inside of you. It's already yours. Everything in this moment is perfect and unfolding naturally. All you need is coming to you in the most perfect divine order and timing. You deserve it all. You're worthy of all of it. And you're doing that, and just in you doing this activity, it's an admission of you surrendering to the possibility that your dreams and your vision can be your reality. Go ahead and give gratitude for knowing it's going to happen. Thank you. Thank you for helping me get to this place of achieving my dream reality for my life. And as I ask these questions, I want you to try to envision it as a movie in your mind, and note as much detail as humanly possible. What are the details of what you see? How do you feel? The more you can see and feel, the more powerful this will be. And you can revisit it as many times as you need to get those details out of you. Don't judge it. Don't overthink it. You literally cannot do this wrong. You cannot dream up the wrong things. You cannot imagine the wrong things. Surrender. Now I want you to imagine your life 5 years from now. Pick a day of some significance, your birthday, your child's birthday, a holiday, first day of school, something that's important to you or significant. What does your life look like? How does the very best version you have worked the last 5 years to become feel? What do you look like? How do you go about your day? What kinds of clothes do you wear? What kind of car do you drive? How do you spend your time? Where do you go on vacations? What's your favorite restaurant to eat at now that life is different and you have the option? What kinds of foods do you love? What does it feel like to be going through your day? Are you solution focused? Are you an encourager? How much joy are you experiencing in your daily life? Who is in your life? What does your inner circle look like now that you are the best version of you and living in alignment of what is possible and what you're wanting for the best part of your life? How do those people make you feel? What types of conversations do you guys have? What does your week or day-to-day life look like? Where do you spend your time? Where does it go? With whom? How do you treat people? How does that make you feel? Everything's allowed. Go where your imagination takes you. Surrender. How do you feel in your own skin? Are you confident? How do you show up for things? Are you an amazing public speaker, a powerful and effective trainer, in the best health of your life? How do you speak to people? How do you allow them to speak to you? What things have you healed in yourself that you will no longer allow to have power over you? What patterns have you broken that allow you to feel free? What things have you healed in yourself that you no longer let have power over you? What patterns have you broken that allow you to feel free? How does it feel to feel free? I'm talking free of past traumas, free of past pain, free of past failures, free of past heartache, free of all the stories that have held you back. You are free of all of it. How does it feel? What's your relationship like with your family? Do you own a home? What's it look like? Where is it? How do you feel when you're in it? What do you see? Do you have children? How old are they? What are they like? What do they like to do? What's your relationship like with them? What moments are you able to be present for in their lives? Do you have a spouse? Live in your best single life? What's the best version of a partner that you can imagine? What qualities do they have? How do they make you feel when you're with them? Without them? With all of these amazing, fulfilling relationships in your life, friendships, partnerships, whatever they are, that are bringing you joy and peace, What are you experiencing with these people? What types of things have you done together? What memories have been created? Where have you gone? What part of you do they fulfill? What things are the very most important to you? Family, loyalty, growth, health, travel, success as you deem it, outside projects, free of debt. How do those things show up in the forefront of your life? How do you infuse those things, those most important things to you, into your daily life? How do you keep them a priority for you? And how does it look and feel when you have mastered the way to do it all? To have the things that are the most important to you at the forefront of your life while consistently showing up for all the things around you that get you to where you want to go. What things have you accomplished? What does that look like? What does it feel like to have achieved such amazing things? What's happened in your business? What rank have you achieved? How many trips have you been on? What are your weekly checks? Your monthly checks? How much do you make each year from your business? What do you do with that money? Where does it go? What does it provide for? What experiences does it create? Who do you give it back to? How does it help you fulfill the things that are a priority in your life? Who does it help you help? How big is your team? What qualities do they possess as human beings and business partners? What types of things do you do together as a team? How many of them go on the trips with you? Go to conference with you? How many directors do you have? How many Lexus earners do you have on your team? What's the culture of your team like? What would someone say it feels like to be on your team? Are you a trainer? Are you a proficient and successful storyteller or solution offerer? Are you using systems to allow you to automate the parts of your business that can be so that you can be more present with your team and your life priorities? Imagine your confidence level in your business after doing all of those things. How does it feel to have helped so many people and yourself create options and freedom in their lives, and joy and peace? Get so very specific. See it. Feel it as deeply as you can. Allow the images to become more frequent and vibrant, and then go bigger. Everything is possible. What your mind can conceive, your mind can achieve. Without thinking or judging, write down every single thing that just popped into your mind during this exercise. I'm going to give you just 1 minute to let that flow out of you onto paper. Okay. You can begin to open your eyes. Come back to this moment in time. I hope that was helpful. I hope maybe you saw some things you've never seen. I hope maybe you saw some things possible for yourself in this business and with this business that you never even thought before. I hope that you didn't talk yourself out of anything as it was coming into your mind. I hope that you allowed it to have the power and impact that it can have. And if you didn't, that's okay. Revisit it as much as you can until you have it down on paper. And then once you do, I strongly encourage you to put either very detailed writing that represents imaging of what it's going to look like, feel like, smell like, taste like, whatever that might be, and or physical images that represent it to you. The more specifically you can show your brain, the better. And as my mentor once said to me, you must perfect your prayers. So, for example, if you said you want more money and you ended up with $5 more, by definition, you got what you asked for, right? So be very specific and what you're wanting, but allow some squish in there for things to be better than what you can imagine, because we tend to think small, very small, in comparison of what we're capable of and what's possible for us. So everything I write, I always end it with, it will be this or something better, and so it is. Every single time. It will be this or something better, and so it is. I never want to limit myself to what my brain is seeing when I know there are bigger things possible. I just wrote a new vision last week after conference because I continue to think bigger and bigger. And I know how much my visions guide my actions, my consistency, and how I show up every day. I encourage you to commit to this process. I encourage you to commit to programming your brain to benefit itself each night. I also encourage you to commit to the knowing that you will see opportunities, cars from the car lot. You will see opportunities for action that will support your vision simply because you wrote it in the first place. And lastly, I encourage you to share your vision with someone else. It adds a whole other layer of power and commitment of making it a reality. Together, I don't just think, I know we will make an incredible positive impact on this world. May it be that or something better, and so it is. Thank you guys so much for being vulnerable enough to listen, to try this, and to see the potential power of what it can do in your life. And thank you so much, Amber, Dave, and Corporate for having me here tonight.